Hi there, my name is Lamont. I am bringing a video about Joe Biden, who recently, as we know, in the news, called for a new world order. US Vice President Joe Biden did not hesitate to call for a new world order while participating in the Export-Import Bank Conference in Washington, D.C., where Joe Biden made this quote: "The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order." Now, when Joe Biden makes this statement, let me make it clear to you, they have already established this new world order. So when he speaks of actually creating the new world order, it's already been created. What it really means is that now is the time to fully implement that. They've waited. And what have they waited for? I'll reveal this. But first of all, I need to explain something about who Joe Biden really is. First, I want to say this. He is actually the real president of the United States. That's the truth. That's who he is. Let me explain that. Joseph R. Biden. Okay. Joseph Biden is a papal knight of Malta, which is a Vatican knighthood, the Knights of St. John of Jerusalem. He is also a high Jesuit, and he is the controller of Barack Obama. Joe Biden has risen from congressman and, served Carter, the President of the United States, and also he was serving Pope John Paul II. And he is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. But more than that, Joe Biden has Jesuit alumni honorary degrees from the University of Scranton, PA. Also, he has Jesuit degrees from St. Joseph's University, Philadelphia, PA. Joe Biden has been trained by the Jesuit order. And it's the Jesuits who control the American government. Now, after what happened with Clinton, it was too obvious. It was too obvious because, and I'll explain that. Bill Clinton graduated from Jesuit Georgetown University, and he was a high Jesuit, and he was positioned to become president by Jesuit Georgetown University. And of course, after that we had, Bush Jr., and he was a complete disaster. I mean, he wasn't a failure. He'd done everything that the Jesuits ordered him to do. He was under the chain of command of the Jesuits of Rome. But after that whole 9/11 CIA operation in the war in Iraq, they realized that they really just could not continue, to position these people who had these Jesuit connections, But the thing is, if you dig into Barack Obama, you find really that Barack Obama was really controlled by Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was a member of the Knight of Malta, and he's also a member of the Bilderberg Group, a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, and one of the founding members of the Trilateral Commission. And of course, he has Jesuit alumni degrees from Jesuit Georgetown University. The vast majority of them do. He is a Polish Roman Catholic, but he's also a Jew, a socialist communist, a Jesuit professor from Columbia University, also New York. And he was the man that recruited, Barack Obama. He was the one that really brought him into the Council on Foreign Relations and really, opened the doors for him to be positioned as President of the United States. You have other Jews in the highest positions, and of course people say the Jews control the New World Order because you have another man called George Soros, George Soros, and he was the member of the Council on Foreign Relations, member of the, Carlyle Group, which is an interlocking financial group, really, amongst the Vatican Knights. Also, he was, another major stockholder in Halliburton, another organization, really primarily for war. He was a Hungarian Jew, another socialist communist, but he was the actual financial backer of Barack Hussein Obama. And also he was connected to Rupert Murdoch, who was a Vatican Knight of St. Gregory. But really what you have here is you have high Masonic Jews in the highest positions of the American CFR, okay? And all of these corporations, running these corporations. It's exactly the same with the media. I really sympathise with people who say that the Jews rule and the Zionists control the New World Order. I mean, 90% of them are spreading disinformation, okay? Knowingly, they're conscious conspirators. But there's that 10% who really believe that actually the Jews rule the New World Order. Well, what we're talking about here is we're talking about high Masonic Jews that are positioned, really the court Jews, okay, for the Pope of Rome. They're under the power of the papacy, but they're put out in front as diversion so that people never see the true controllers and the true shadow Jesuit government. So what I'm giving you some history to what's actually taking place. The positioning of Barack Obama was really just to take attention away from the Jesuit order. But what they've done is they've put, their vice president, high Jesuit, and he is a high Jesuit. He really is. He is the real president of the United States, Joseph Biden. Why is he coming out now and saying things like, we need a new world order. We need to create, in reality, this new world order. What does that mean in reality? It means it's time to implement it. So why have they been waiting? Everyone's eyes have been on Barack Obama. And what did they do? They brought out their... Now listen, I am not against Jews. I have friends who are Jews and also Messianic Jews. Do you understand? I have a lot of friends that are Jewish, actually. I used to work with a lot of Jewish people in, different churches. So I'm not anti-Semitic. Just hear what I'm saying. You had, papal advisor, Knight of Malta, Henry Kissinger, who is for a long time worked in this roundtable of the Trilateral Commission, Bilderberg Group, Club of Rome, this whole, Holy Roman Empire, roundtable. Kissinger really has moved in and out of these different organizations, and he made a statement a few years ago saying, it's through Barack Obama that we're going to bring the New World Order. Why did he make that statement, and why was it from a Jew? Okay, because the Jesuits of Rome are, diverting people away from the true power, who is actually Joe Biden. That's the truth. Barack Hussein Obama is nothing more than a 33rd degree Prince Hall Freemason. Now, I'm not saying that's all he is, but I'm saying, that's the only power he has. Of course, he also does have Jesuit alumni degrees, and that's from Notre Dame, Jesuit University. So, of course, he has power. Of course, he has position, and he's positioned into the, Catholic American Holy Roman Empire. He's positioned as president, but all he is a high Mason. All he is a Jesuit alumni. The true president, the true controller of him is, as I've said, Joe Biden. And he has been working for the papacy really for decades. I mean, even since the time of John Paul II, okay? He's been controlling American politics covertly, secretly, of course, And so this is why Joe Biden has come out with this statement to the press in Washington, D.C. that now is time to create in reality a New World Order. So why have they been waiting? They've been waiting for a high Jesuit provincial pope to be positioned. And it's no coincidence whatsoever, guys, that the Black Pope, Adolfo Nicholas Pachin, the superior Jesuit general, has now positioned his high Jesuit Pope Francis, who controlled secretly, covertly, he controlled the Argentinian government, because believe me, the Jesuit provincials have the power. That's the truth. Even in the Vatican. Even in the papacy. Let me explain how it works in the Vatican, and let me explain how it works, for instance, in the American government. Okay, let me deal with the Vatican first. In the Vatican, this is the power structure. You have the Black Pope, you have the General, the Father General of the Society of Jesus. He is the true Pope. He is the true controller of Vatican corporation, because it is a corporation. It's not a church. Okay? It's a worldwide corporation. The Black Pope controls the papacy. He has a Jesuit council. Many of them consisting of papal bloodlines, but really high Jesuit provincials. It's called the Curia, and it is in the Church of the Jesuit. The Curia is really the magisterium. It's the government of the Black Papacy. Okay. So you have the Black Pope, the high Jesuit provincials, and then you have the bishops. And the bishops really, they control their regions. They control, obviously, what's called by Catholics archdioceses. They control the regions across the earth, But it's not the bishops that have control. Behind the bishops, they answer to their controllers, who are the high Jesuit provincials. And now, I'll apply it to politics. Okay. So you have the Black Pope, the high Jesuit provincials, the bishops. But here, the Jesuit provincials, they govern all across the earth what's called Jesuit assistances. They are positioned from Jesuit universities, and it's the Jesuit high provincials that control their, I will say this, Jesuit appointed prime ministers. The Jesuits have never been overt. They've never been overt this way. We have the Vice President of the United States, who has Jesuit alumni degrees from a Jesuit university. We have the President of France, Francis Hollande, who graduated from the HEC, a Jesuit university. We have the President of the European Union, Van Rompuy, and he graduated from a Jesuit university. But now we have a high Jesuit provincial Pope. And I want to tell you now that Pope Francis, he's not just some, Jesuits that is under the power of the Black Pope, and, he's just some Jesuit provincial, because there's many of them. Every nation, and I'll say this, every nation is governed by a high Jesuit provincial, and they covertly, secretly control the presidents. They control the Catholic monarchs. But believe me, Pope Francis was on the high Jesuit Curia. He joined the Jesuit order in 1953, and he worked under Pedro Arrupi, and then he worked alongside Hans Kovenbach. This man is, literally, under the general. What I mean is, that's the power this man has. Okay? He was a high provincial. And this is why Joe Biden has come forth at this time to reveal that they're actually going to, in reality, implement and bring this New World Order. They're going to bring it now. This is it. The time is now. They're bringing the New World Order right now. It's going to happen. But they've waited for this moment. This is their appointed time. So I want to bring that revelation that really behind Joe Biden, it's the Black Pope who's making the statement. It's not Joe Biden. It's the Jesuit general. He's making it clearly known that he has positioned his Jesuit High Pope, overtly now in the open. And here you have, the Vice President of the United States, who is the real president, not Obama, saying that he's going to bring his New World Order. They're going to implement and bring the New World Order all across the face of the earth. So this is it now. The New World Order is here. It's going to be implemented, and it's time to wake up. The real power today is the Black Pope. He controls all of the bishops, all of the cardinals in the Catholic Church. He controls all of the Catholic sovereigns. He controls all world leaders, all presidents, all heads of state. They don't just come to the Vatican as ambassadors because, the Vatican's a separate sovereign city-state. No, they go to the Vatican because the Pope of Rome controls world politics. But it's not the Pope. He's a figurehead. He has no power. The Jesuits of Rome, they control the papacy, and that's why all the presidents and all the prime ministers, that's why they all go. That's why we saw Pope Francis in the Vatican recently, and I've got pictures of that on this video. And here you can see, Joe Biden, answering to his master, showing his subordination to his high Jesuit provincial. What we have today, conclusion, is a one world government ruled over by the Black Pope, and now is the time when they are going to bring their New World Order, people. And we must resist this and expose this on the internet. My name is Alan Lamont. Thank you for listening, and as always, all roads lead to Rome.